In part 2 of our Let's Empower Our Intranet Super Users series, I would like to just talk about the web parts that's on your pages. So we have covered this in some previous blogs, but it is important to understand that if I look at a page, some of the content actually comes from other places, and that might be very confusing if you're new to the whole SharePoint side of things and you've never really been a contributor or a developer or in that sense of the word. So the first one, of course, at the top here, you can see the Hero web part. You might not be using that on your intranet, but the Hero web part, I need to edit the page to be able to edit the images and the links and the text on it. So I'll have to put the page into edit for that. When I scroll down news, as a contributor, I can actually add a news article straight from here. I don't have to put this page into edit mode. If you're using a Twitter web part, that just pulls through from social media automatically. You will not edit the page to update the Twitter web part, except if you want to change the number of items to show. When I scroll down, you'll see I've got a people picker or a people web part that tells me who the owner is of the documents. And these two web parts here is a document library and a list library that it's pulling through. So this shows me any documents grouped in the company. So if I had to go to this as well, this would be a FAQ and this will be a document. You don't update the page to change the content in here. You'll actually just change it in the library where the content comes from. So list and library web parts pulls through from other places. The content doesn't actually sit on the page. This is just like a little window that looks into the content that sits somewhere else. So you would upload the content, and if you're a contributor, you can do it right onto the page, but you can also go to the library to add content. So I won't edit the page to edit this content. When I scroll down, you'll see here I've got a stream web part which surfaces videos from my Microsoft Stream channel. Again, I won't be editing the page to add videos here. I'll be going to Microsoft Stream to add new videos or to remove videos that I want to have displayed here. So this is content that comes from somewhere else. Then these conversations are coming from Yammer. Again, I will not edit the page to update the content that's in here because it's coming from somewhere else. Any items that I add on Yammer then will automatically be posted here. Then the events as well. I can straight from the page, I do not have to edit the page. I can click on add event to be able to add more events that shows here. And then of course the end users can also open an event and add it to their Outlook, which is very, very cool. Then here at the bottom, you'll see page contact. If I wanted to add more contacts, I would have to edit the page because you'll see there, I don't have the ability to go plus new contact. I have to edit the page to actually add that. At the bottom here, I've used Microsoft Forms. So I've brought in a survey that people can fill in, but I've also brought in the results. This again, you will go to Microsoft Forms to update. You won't be editing the page to update this form. You'll be going to Microsoft Forms. So that's just a quick look at the different web parts. So if I then put the page into edit mode, just to recap this, if I want to add content to the intranet, I'm not going to be putting my page into edit for that. So for content like documents and lists, I would actually go to the specific web part and add it there. And we'll be covering that in this little training series. If I do want to add a new page contact, for example, I can just, when the page is in edit mode, I can then actually just add the person there and publish the page. These comes from Microsoft Forms. The events as well you can add while the page is into edit. So normally the images that you use on the page and the text that you use, you need to put the page into edit for that. But for the other web parts that actually pulls this content from somewhere else, you won't edit the page for that. You'll edit the content in the specific web part or in the specific app that you've used to generate that content. So that might be a little bit difficult to understand, but definitely you will get used to it, I promise. So any images that you're using on the page, any links and things, you'll put the page into edit mode. So like the Hero web part, or if I've used a text web part or an image web part, I would definitely edit the page to add those. So just a quick recap as well. If I look at the type of web parts that sits on pages, and yours might be built already, but these are the type of web parts that I am looking at that can be surfaced. The big maps, the divider, there's my document library, embedded code from other websites, events, file viewers, so you can add files to display on a page as well, Power BI, people, quick links, such a bunch of awesome web parts that you can add on a page. But if it's set up already your page, then you'll only edit the page to bring in new images and new text. Most of the content actually sits somewhere else, and you'll be updating it in that specific app. So I hope that clears up a bit of that confusion you might have. And then next up, we'll start looking at just the news articles and go through some of that. Chat soon.